Hey guys, so I'm currently stuck at home because we are in quarantine, and I haven't done a lot of reading because Animal Crossing New Horizons came out and I've literally been obsessed and I haven't done anything else. But I did watch Ariel Bassett's video, and I think it's called like the Reading Habits tag, and I actually really wanted to do it myself because I thought it would be really fun, and I haven't really been reading lately, so I thought it would be a good way to make a video, but without actually having any reading content because it would just be my reading habits. So I have the questions on my phone and here we go. So number 1, do you have a certain place at home for reading? And I would say I mostly read in my bed. Actually, that's like 99.9% of the time that's where I read. I do sometimes read at my desk if I just need like a change of scenery, but most of the time it is my bed, which can be troublesome because I sometimes get really sleepy and then I end up wanting to fall asleep. But yeah, so that's where mostly I read on my bed. Question number 2, bookmark or random piece of paper. So this is something that I'm trying to get better at because I used to just use random pieces of paper, receipts, coupons, literally anything. But I recently, since I was subscribed to Owlcrate, we got like a bunch of bookmarks. So I've been trying to like match those nicer ones that I have with my books, and I got a couple free ones from the library which are really cute. And yeah, so I do really prefer bookmarks. I don't dog ear at all. I don't do that. Sometimes I just have to grab a random piece of paper, but most of the time I try to use an actual bookmark. Number 3, can you just stop reading or do you have to stop after a chapter / a certain amount of pages? So I thought this question was pretty interesting because, I mean, sometimes obviously you just have to stop reading. Like, let's say I'm reading before class or I'm like listening to an audiobook, you know, something like that. But if I'm like in my bed reading or at home reading, I do try to always finish a chapter, and I am kind of a slow reader, so I try to make myself read 50 pages a day, just because I have a lot of other stuff going on with school. We are transitioning to online school, so that's been kind of a mess lately. But yeah, so I normally try to read 50 pages or stop at the end of a chapter. So question number 4, do you eat or drink while reading? This is kind of an interesting one because I definitely do drink while reading, because I just use like water bottles, like the reusable ones, and that's not very hard for me to like drink. But I won't drink anything besides water because I have spilled on my book before, and I think it was like Gatorade or Powerade, and it stained the pages. So I learned not to do that. But yeah, I'll definitely drink. Eating, I can't. I cannot eat and read at the same time. That is a level of multitasking that I just cannot understand. I just can't get past it. I can't grasp that skill. I do commend people that are able to do that because it is a skill that I'm very jealous of. But when I do eat or drink, or normally when I eat, it's when I'm watching YouTube instead, because I have to have like a third hand if I would do both. Number 5, it says multitasking, music or TV while reading. For me, it is neither. I literally have to have like dead quiet. I can't listen to music. I can't watch TV at all. That is like way above my multitasking abilities. If anything, like the extent of what I will do is listen to ASMR rooms and put on some like Harry Potter ASMR or like anything like that. That is the most that I can do, because anything else I get way too distracted. Sometimes what I'm doing right now actually with Clockwork Angel is I am listening to the audiobook with the physical book, and so I'm like reading along with it and annotating. But no, I can't watch TV or listen to music. Number 6, one book at a time or several at once. So I have just never been one of those people that can read more than one book at once. I have a really hard time remembering what happened in what book whenever I try to do that. The only books that I can really do that with is Harry Potter, just because I have such a vivid memory of what happens in the story, so I won't really get I won't get Harry Potter mixed up with anything else really. But most of the time, I would say 98% of the time, if it's not Harry Potter that I'm also reading a book with, then I'm just reading one book. Number 7, reading at home or everywhere. So, majority of the time I do read at home, but I do bring my book pretty much everywhere with me. I'm not going to school anymore because we have transitioned to online school because of the coronavirus, but I used to bring my book to school with me. I would read in between classes, and I used to bring it to work, and I would read on my break. But now that I am stuck at home, that's all I can do. But normally, I do bring my book with me everywhere I have the chance to. So this is number 8. It is read out loud or silently in your head. And I read silently in my head. Sometimes if I'm having like a hard time grasping a sentence or like a paragraph and like I have to reread it, sometimes I read it out loud just to form the words, you know, out loud so I can try to grasp it a little bit better. But yeah, I definitely read silently in my head. Number 9 is, do you read ahead or even skip pages? So I don't skip pages, and I'm not like a skim reader or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with that. It just, me personally, I feel like I need to read all of it because I'm gonna get lost if I don't. But the only time I read ahead is when it's like something interesting's happening and there's like dialogue, and I like kind of want to skip like the little like she turned her head to the corner so she didn't have to see him, like something like, no, I'll just skip that and read like the actual dialogue because I'm like, okay, I need to know what happens, but then I go back and read what I skipped in the middle. I don't ever skip anything. If I do read ahead, I go back and read what I did skip, but that's the extent of skipping ahead for me. Number 10 is breaking the spine or keeping it like new. So I don't purposefully try to like break the spine to make it easier to read or anything, but I feel like it's just gonna happen. It's just something that happens whenever you're reading a book, and I do break the spine. I don't try to keep them like new because, I mean, you paid for them, they're your books. If I'm borrowing a book, obviously I'm gonna want to keep it in the best condition that I can, but it doesn't bother me if a spine breaks because honestly, I like look at my bookshelves and I can't even really tell which books I've like cracked open enough to break the spine, so it doesn't really bother me. And if anything, I think it just makes it more individual to the person. So yeah, I mean, it's your personal library, so you can do whatever you want with your books, so it doesn't bother me if I have to break the spine. Number 11 is, do you write in your books? And this one is a strong yes for me. I love annotating my books, and obviously I used to be that person in middle school and early high school where I was like, no, like you have to keep them in pristine condition, and it's like, no you don't. Because I just recently started annotating probably like a year ago, and it has really changed my whole reading experience. It makes me so much more engulfed in the book, and it just allows me to get more into the story, and I really enjoy it because it really makes me give all my focus to it, and I can go back and look at it and read my thoughts and read what I wrote when I was thinking this, and if I wanted to reread it, then I'll have those thoughts from before, and it makes it reading a lot more fun to me personally. I annotate differently than school. I actually have a video, I'll put it in the description box below on how I annotate if you guys want to see that. But yeah, this was my reading habits tag. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun filming it, and I thought the questions were pretty cool and interesting because they're different for everybody. I don't know if Ariel Bissett was the original creator. I will find the original creator and tag them in the description. But yeah, feel free to do this tag. I tag every single one of you, and happy reading, guys!